Mike Means Marketing here, and I've got an amazing guest for you today. In this video, you're going to learn from Josh B. Lee. He is a LinkedIn expert. He sees the future, what's available, what the potential is for you and your business on LinkedIn, and why you cannot miss this opportunity. Hey everybody, and welcome to 10-Minute Hacks with the Best Marketing Minds. I'm thrilled today. I've got Josh B. Lee with me. He is the author of an incredible new book, and I love the title, Balance is Bullshit. I'm gonna go a little bit more into some of the other stuff you're doing, but I just want to know, just getting started, Josh, what is your hard luck story? What pushes you for greatness in the marketing and entrepreneurial world?
Man, Michael, I appreciate it. Really my hard luck story, if you really want to get into it, it started out when I was 15. I grew up fairly upper middle class up until that age. And right before I turned 15, right when I was 16, I wasn't supposed to go to high school, college, unless, no working, get a car, all that kind of stuff. My father lost his job. Totally flipped the script on everything out of nowhere. Just lost his job and he was doing really well. And I actually had to learn the value of money. One of the best things that ever happened to me. And it showed me not only just for myself, having to go out there, okay, got my first job, started being a coach at the YMCA, doing like refereeing and things like that. But my father turned around and went from a very high paying job to doing whatever it took for the family. He worked at Sears selling siding. He worked at Circuit City. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember Circuit City.
But whatever it took, he did it till he found his next position, in which he then rolled up into retiring a couple of years ago as the vice president of one of the largest credit card processing companies in the country.
Wow.
So, between that time frame, that was my hard luck, which not a hard luck, but a hard luck on the family that gave me the most value, that never stop. Because if you quit just because of you hit a speed bump, you're going to be like the rest. You need to be able to step forward and push your most powerful person always possible.
And that's an incredibly important life message. And it's also incredibly important because your father, he displayed to you, it wasn't talk. It was
showed. Yeah,
exactly. What marketing method was the first one you ever used to make a sale as an entrepreneur?
Email. I started out in the online advertising world way back before it was even popular. And we were monetizing traffic. And honestly, most people probably don't even use it that much anymore, but it was called the Alexa list. It's the list of how every site in the world is ranked. And I would go through there every day and go through the list. And I'll be honest, a little bit of porn, and you look at all but I would go through there and go to each website, starting it, and then go to and find an email and send an email every day. And I would send out 1,000 emails a day. I got blacklisted many a times for sending too many emails out by my email provider. But that's how I got my first sale. It was a very quick, very easy. If I can make you more money than you're making right now, I'm either going to give you two things. Either I'm going to be able to show you that you're making more money, or I'm going to prove to you you're in your best position possible. That's it. I left it.
And what did you do for these companies once you got a hold of them?
Once we got a hold of them, it was just a conversation. That truly is what it is. It's like, look, if I put my advertising, this is when we put, Google ads and search boxes and everything else before everyone's just embedded in there. And it was like, look, this is what you're doing now. We're a tier 2 company. We have access to Google, Yahoo, Overture at the time, and different companies like that. We're going to give you our technology. Let's say you're making $100 now. If I can make you $105, you're making more money.
Right.
It was a no-brainer because, again, I'm giving you two options that end in a positive result for you. I solidify you're the solution you're in right now, that you're making the most money possible, or I make you more money. It's a win-win. And it was a very easy conversation. When you can find out that one that's a win-win, no matter what the outcome is for someone, it's always a guaranteed yes.
Right.
And I think that's where people try and go. They don't look at both sides of the coin when you're talking to someone. They kind of give them, hey, here's my solution. This is what it can do for you. The positives. They don't show a flip side on the negative of what, even if trying the product, what it will do for their company at the same point.
Right. And so even if you take this leap of faith, here's the result that you'll get if we don't get our maximum result.
Correct. And that's where I think a lot of people miss that factor because they're too scared to show that.
So what about today? What's your favorite platform for generating traffic, leads? Like, what are you doing today? What's your favorite?
Man, honestly, LinkedIn. Most people don't even use it.
Most people don't even bother with, yeah.
They're 500. Most people don't use it correctly. They just put it as a platform, put their information up there.
Right.
It's still an underused technology. I think I just saw an email come out. They just hit their 500 millionth user, which is awesome. LinkedIn was purchased last year. A lot of people don't know for $23 billion cash by Microsoft. Their largest purchase ever. So
wow.
There's some amazing things that are be coming down the line if Microsoft has that much faith in what they've got going on, and some of the stuff that I've done, I've been able to kind of see behind the curtains. But LinkedIn, man, I mean,
well, wow. So if Microsoft just bought it for $23 billion.
Well, I mean, when you say cash, I mean like for debt, stuff like that, but not stock or any other stuff.
Right. But that means, as you're saying, that they're going to be putting some serious investment into this platform. Wow.
I mean, think of everything that we use today. I mean, with all the different Microsoft products that are out there, embedded in your computers and Word and Excel and stuff like that. I mean, I know Google Docs, everything's out there, but I mean, Skype. I mean, think of where they're going to be able to take this and the integration it's going to have moving forward. And if you actually invest that time in right now, where it's going to come forward in the future.
So what advice would you give to an entrepreneur or a marketer who's just getting in the game and wants to break into LinkedIn? What would you tell them to do?
Biggest thing you want to be able to do is make sure your profile is optimized as much as possible. Second thing you need to be able to do, and one of the biggest marketing things that we do, is start putting content out there. LinkedIn content is amazing because, again, it integrates really well into Google. So actually going into the publishing side, not just doing the daily comments or in the feed, actually publishing articles there starting out is a great way to be able to actually showcase that focus. And at the next point, let's take a step back before I even go into that depth, because I mean I know that's where we can go as well. The first thing you should be able to do, if you call up and you're looking for another job, usually they call your previous employers, right? I've been an employer for well over a decade. I've had my friends go, "Hey, Josh, can you say something for me? This person's going to call, say I made X." And it's like, sometimes you're like, cool. Yeah. If you at least believe in the person, you're there to help them out. But I mean, once I'm off the phone, that holds nothing towards me. The biggest thing that LinkedIn does is it allows you to be able to take recommendations. If someone's going to give you a recommendation about you or your services online that the world can see and it stays there all the time, that's huge. So the biggest thing that you can use LinkedIn starting out is to be able to get as many people as possible to give you recommendations that they're willing to stand behind for the test of time online that anyone can see.
Got it. So you're not talking about like the little button recommendations. You're talking about like written recommendations, or is that what we're talking about?
On there, it shows you can say request recommendations about someone, and you can send it out to, I think it's 5 people a day or 5 people at a time. I think it's 5 people a day.
Oh, I can't believe I haven't been utilizing that.
You got to be sending out. If you don't request 5 every day, take 2 seconds of your time to ask 5 people to recommend you, you're missing out.
It's mind-boggling to me how many things I could be doing that I'm not doing, but this is definitely something I should be doing.
Why should I hire you as a service? Well, if you look at my LinkedIn, these people believed in me enough to be able to put it out there that anyone could see. And if you explain them the same way I just told you, hey, you call someone, you ask for a recommendation, they'll tell you anything because, again, out of sight, out of mind. Once they hang up that phone, it's gone.
Right.
That's the difference. So it's starting out, you want to get business, that's an amazing way to be able to do it. Now, we've got a couple other tools and techniques that we teach that we're just opening up to our clients. But, I mean, that's the definite number one I would definitely tell anyone.
I love it. So, I mean, you've been an entrepreneur and a business owner and an employer for well over a decade.
Yeah.
You probably have a few marketing hacks, but I want to know the one. What is the one thing that your marketing hack that defeats everything else that you do?
So this is something that I just telling you that we are just opening up. We've only done it for like kind of, let's say, quote, quote, friends and family. I've used it for myself. This is what has helped me close many deals, be able to close almost any coaching, opportunity that comes my way, different businesses. And, in the last 2 years, I think I have been published or been quoted because I started this service over 200 different publications. So this is what
I'm hanging on.
So remember I publishing. I figured out, because of my background, traffic was king. Coming from a world at any point in time, and we still at any point we can manipulate and be able to control anywhere from 3 to 4 billion impressions of daily traffic across my advertising networks. Wow. That's great, but you're competing with so many other people that are doing the exact same thing.
Right.
As I told you, LinkedIn is the platform that is an underutilized third party that people definitely at least have faith in, that they believe what they see on there, and allows you to do that. So what I did, and what works every single time, is we went in and we've been able to write articles and be able to use them to be able to help get more clients, get them to pay more, and get them to buy more often. The 3 things that you're looking to be able to do. And this is why. If you're, Michael, if you're on Facebook, if you're somewhere and you see a video online, or you see something, an article written, and there's 2 different ones, one that has 1 view or one that has 10,000 views, which one are you more apt to watch?
10,000.
Of course. Everyone's the same way. It's just in our nature to be able to go, wow, that person did it. So we actually built a process where we actually go through, help you write the article, and then we can actually guarantee anywhere from 5 to 10,000 views of your article, every single article. And then we teach you how to be able to leverage that across social platforms to be able to then, again, across your social and your email, to be able to, again, get more clients, get them to buy more, get them to buy more often. And the reason being is, Mike, you're going to make me go, Josh, hey, I need some coaching, right? I'm like, okay, Michael, well, I'm $1,000 an hour. Whoa, $1,000 an hour. Why? Well, every time I write an article, over 10,000 people read what I write. That's why you should buy from me. That's why you should pay more. Or again, if you're selling a product in your email list, it's that whole process of going through and being able to show that what you're talking about is actually factual and other people believe it and have interaction about it.
Absolutely. And one of the things, and I'm looking at like Facebook today, and it's so saturated with these cheesy ass marketers. Like, I'm watching them with their whiteboards, and I'm almost embarrassed to have my whiteboard behind me, because I don't want to be associated with that shit. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't believe you.
Right.
I don't.
But if you have an article that actually, if you're writing articles consistently and being able to show readership of those articles, like we have one of our clients, Ron Lynch, we were able to help him get over 50,000 views and interaction on his article.
Wow.
Within a couple of days, he closed over a $50,000 deal. Within a month, he closed over 6 figures with that one article.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
Because again, it's solidifying that you know what you're talking about. If
yes.
you take time out of their day, especially to read, not just listen, but read something that you wrote. Right. That many, it adds up, and it really gives a lot of value. So we're actually just starting to really open up to the public, and because this is something I've used over the last 2 to 3 years, and I'm like going, okay, now I've done it myself. I've used it many times. This is what's gotten me interviewed. This is what's helped me write my book. This is what closed deals that helped me actually start new companies. I built an entire company around this, Standout Authority. So, it's something
right.
I believe in, and something that we're really putting a lot of effort to.
Right. I'm kind of like, man, Josh, I gotta go write some LinkedIn articles. We'll finish this interview later. Like, I'm that stoked about it.
Yeah, man.
What do you see coming down the pike? We've got, we've got so many things in the marketing world that are changing. Everything shifts on a daily basis. What are you going to be spending your time educating yourself about through 2017, 2018?
Man, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's going to be
LinkedIn.
More time on LinkedIn. With Microsoft coming in, I have to think about this. With Microsoft's purchase of LinkedIn, all the different products they have, some of the things that I know about what's going to come on. Think about this. If you don't have the most up-to-date profile, if you're not showing up really well on results. You're not having, these recommendations, these articles that are going in. I'm seeing some features where, again, you get an email. If you're using, let's say, Outlook, you're going to be able to highlight that person's name, and they'll pull up your LinkedIn profile and know exactly where you sit and stand. You're everywhere you go. You're using Word, all those different pieces. Your profile and your marketing is going to go across all the applications, all the users they have right now. I want to understand how that's working, and I want to be ahead of the curve.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I have the most solidified profile, the most depth on my profile, that when all these different factors come to play and more people realize these opportunities.
You're right there. You're cemented in.
Because, I mean, it's not every day a company spends $23 billion cash
on a social platform.
Especially Microsoft's largest purchase ever.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible.
So there has to be something behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's coming, I just can't even imagine.
So that's where most of my time is going to be going. I mean, outside of that, I mean, those are the two things that I'm involved in these days, the LinkedIn world, and then working with my clients on how to be able to scale with their company so they don't scale out their company. I mean, that personal growth aspect.
Love it. What marketer has inspired you the most or had the most impact on your process?
I'll give you two, just because, again, there were different levels of how that worked. Yannick Silver. Yannick's an amazing individual. My entire world changed and was opened up once I joined the group Maverick 1000. He has an amazing group of entrepreneurs that showed me other people that are out there being entrepreneurs, being able to travel the world, do impacts, and actually care and be yourself, one.
Right.
And then two, actually impact the world around them while making money. Number two, another good friend of mine as well. I'm blessed to be have these guys, and he actually wrote the foreword on my book, Jesse Elder. Jesse he blends the balance between that kind of just mystical but practical marketing. And I mean, he taught me to be that one person who I am all the time, 100% of the time. I mean, his way to be able to get in and be able to work with someone on the mind and to be able to adjust and make sure that was always my main focus is always your mind is the most valuable thing that you have to prep first. Tactics come later. And Jesse was one of those people that really opened my eyes to be able to go on, this is where I need to be putting most of my focus and how I want to be able to help change the world as well.
That's fantastic. I actually got to see Jesse down here in Orlando at one of his events that he has here about 6 months ago. It was fantastic. He's great.
Yeah, man. Great guy.
What is your favorite marketing app, book, program? Like what's the thing that you'd be like, you must blank?
This one right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's the camera on my iPhone. Best app, best marketing tool, everything. Again, it allows you to be able to reach the world. I mean, I can record a video and put it out there. I can do Facebook Live. I can do YouTube. I can do anything. I can share myself and my message with the world. Now, not everyone should do this. As we were talking earlier, I mean, it's just everyone's over there. But it truly is the most powerful marketing tool that you have in your arsenal. If you are at a networking event, it's a little trick that I always use. You meet people, everyone wants to hand out your business card, right? Well, if I don't even know you and you're already handing me something you paid for, well, you're showing me that you're willing to waste money before you know there's value in it. If you're willing to waste 5 cents on a business card and hand me that I'm probably going to throw away, you're probably going to throw away more of my time and my money down the line as well. So, I'm more of let's meet someone. I'm going to get my phone out. Hey, let's take a picture. I'm going to take a selfie with that person. And then I'm actually going to say, hey, give me your number. Let me share it with you. Because now visually, they're going to remember my face and who we are. I'm going to send a message and send a personal message. Hey, man, great meeting you at one of our events here, Internet Marketing Party, put on by David Gonzalez. I mean, here's a picture of you and I hanging out together at IMP, and I just want to make sure we remember to connect. Because, again, the more senses you use, the better it is in someone's memory.
And I love that. I love that. Take a pic, you take the selfie, then get their number, send them the number, then remind them that's brilliant.
It gives them a couple of different things. And because again, I get texts all the time. Hey man, it was great to meet you. Yeah.
Who is this?
I'm a visual person. So I mean, it's my own personal hack because it allows me to also remember everyone that we meet at the same point in time, because I have the opportunity to meet a lot of people and I want to make sure I build those great connections. So having that visual aspect helps dramatically, specifically for me.
Absolutely. Me too. Like, even I think I even do this to you. So when I'm reaching out to people on Facebook to like ask them to do the show or just to catch up, I do a video
Yep.
and then I send a video message and people just, they're like, oh, that guy.
Yep. So that's why I said, man, I mean, so many apps, so many different tools, so many different books out there. Sometimes the most simplest things are the best. And there's no training.
That's fantastic.
You have you have a camera on it.
Right.
They're getting better and better.
Well, and that's what, it's like, stop trying to feel like you have to create create so much, just start documenting. I think, was that, I can't remember who said it. Anyway, document, don't create.
Yeah.
I'll quote whoever said that later.
And if I've gone into a company to be able to help scale them and stuff like that, I mean, that's one of the biggest things that I start off with young entrepreneurs: document everything. Because if you have to go ahead and if you have to repeat it again, what you've already told someone else, just document it, record it, whatever it might be. Because again, now you're wasting that precious thing that we don't have, that we don't get more of: time.
Yep. Josh, tell our listeners how they can find you, how they can access your skill and your brain power to hack their LinkedIn profiles.
No worries, man. I mean, again, the easiest way to be able to, because I mean, I love getting on a phone call. The easiest way to be able to do it, you can go to joshuabeely.com. There's a way to be able to set up a 15-minute conversation with me anytime you want. If you're looking to pick up the book, it's on Amazon. It's also, balancesbullshit.com, but SHT. We have to get rid of that I, which is funny. Is my next piece I'm working on with my son. It's Balance is Silly. I've realized he couldn't take this book to school with him being 8, so we're going to co-author a book that takes those same kind of values that we need and mindsets that you need as adults, that I believe children can learn from as well and be able to turn into a children's book.
Josh, it's been a pleasure. I want to pick your brain a little bit more about this book. So we're gonna let our listeners go. And if you want to hear more about mindset from Josh B. Lee, go to mikemeansmarketing.com and check out the extended interview. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome, brother. Thanks. All right. So tell me about Balance is Bullshit.
Balance is Bullshit, man. It goes back through. I mean, it's really a book about where I started, realizing that business wasn't all about business. When people used to know me back in the day, they knew, and again, excuse my language, but, many friends were like, look, if you want to make, fuck tons of money, call Josh. I was that guy that people used to reach out to, like, if you want to figure out how to monetize anything, he can figure out how to monetize it. So I was in that mindset. Everything was whirling around money.
Right.
And, this book kind of talks about when I had that shift. I realized I was, I was overweight, which I'd never been in my life. I'd always played sports, been a, fairly athletic person, but at my quote unquote richest, where people perceive that, I was overweight. My relationships were crap. I had no vision about where I was going. I only knew where I was at. And business was that main driver. That's all I did. And so, I finally started realizing I needed to have more perspective. This whole world of work-life balance and so much money has been put into it, to be able to teach people to have 2 different personalities. You have your work personality, you have your life personality. I'm sorry, but I call bullshit on that. I'm one person. If I have 2 different personalities, I need to go see a doctor because I'm insane. I mean, that's the thing. So this book is all about what I help people with on the coaching aspect, which is living a more integrated life, making sure that you take that mindset, you take the health, you take the relationships, before you even worry about the business. Because again, if you want your business to explode, you've got to have the right mindset to be able to understand what's going on, where you're going, and have vision of your future, not just depending on where you're at. You've got to have the health to be able to endure. Michael, you know as well as I do, this is not easy being an entrepreneur.
Right.
I mean, you've got to be able to work late, wake up early, run around like crazy sometimes, especially as a parent. I mean, I've got to have that health and energy to be able to keep myself going. And then I had to have the relationships. I mean, like you and I mean, we have to, like, we met at Baby Bathwater, an amazing event where the relationship side is so key, because those are the reason those people are there to be able to help you when you're having trouble, catch you when you fall, or applaud you when you succeed. Without all those things, business becomes hollow.
Right.
So that's what the book's about, man. Living more of an integrated life.
Right. So, one of the things that I loved about the title was that, I always, and I haven't read it yet, but I want to, and I will.
We'll get you a copy.
Thank you. So, I always, find myself thinking about balance like neutral, like you're just,
right.
And it's like, well, wait a second. Like, I run, I'm crazy, I'm busy. I like that, and then I like to have my downtime. I like to relax. I like to have a couple cocktails. I like to hang out with my wife on the back porch. And like, I'm not a neutral guy. So when I saw your book, I was like,
neutral?
What's that?
You're just like this. Are you having any growth aspects?
Good Lord, no.
You have your most growth when you're off balance.
Right.
Stand on one leg, see how long you can do it, or put two legs integrated in the earth.
Exactly. And that's how muscle is built, right? Because you're off balance. You're moving in different directions. And I think that's what's so powerful about, your message here is that, it's not about, being the perfect person or having the perfect balanced life. It's like live life, but like integrate, not balance.
Right. Integrate those different aspects of your life. Because they are extremely important. Because one day you'll look back and you'll be like, man, I missed out. I see so many, especially millennials, they're working so hard. And then the next thing you know, they're like, oh, I'm burnt out. I've had clients that come in and they go, I can kill it 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I had a friend of mine who actually worked for Tony Robbins. And he's like, Josh, dude, I kill it 2 weeks. I go all the way in, but then I have to take a week off to be able to recover. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way you're giving 100% all 2 weeks. If you have to recover for a week and you're just dead after those 2 weeks, you're probably, if you're lucky, you're at 20% those last 2 days. You're wasting your time and someone else's time at the same point. Give yourself some energy.
Right. Well, I think that's kind of like, even the whole Tony Robbins deal, because like he was the guy who inspired me. My first mentor was Tony Robbins, and I listened to Release the Giant Within. I think was what it was. And I got a ton out of it, and I applied a ton of it, and it changed my life. But I got to a point later in life where I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the things he's about, because it's all about ripping high energy and it's like, I want to chill out sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You deserve that.
Right.
You worked hard. You have a life. You have to enjoy it.
Right. Exactly.
So, that's the whole thing, man. That's truly what the book is. I go through a lot of my basic techniques to be able to teach people, how to be able to do that. This like, one of my best secrets that I've actually started giving away in this book is all about how to go to bed every single night feeling accomplished. Now, Michael, if you could go to bed, if you knew every single night you went to bed feeling accomplished, what would that do for your life?
Well, I wouldn't toss at all. I'd probably sleep better.
Yeah. Again, and you'd work it with more energy. It's the same kind of concept of like when someone goes, oh, I'm not a morning person. They're like, oh man, I got to wake up early tomorrow. Oh, I hate this. Well, they wake up negative.
Right.
So if you go to bed feeling accomplished, no matter what happens between that day, it's amazing what it'll do. So, some of that stuff's in there, and it's
right.
It's great. I've got my clients, they'll teach it, they'll share it with their families. Next thing I know, they're like, Josh, my kids are doing this now. So it's great to be able to have some of those things. And
that's awesome. And that comes back to well, you were talking about impact earlier, not just making money, but having impact. And so I love that. I love that
I've got 2 kids. It might be corny, but I always say I want to leave footprints in the sand that were stronger than they're left for me. And as I told you in the beginning, what changed my life, my father and what he showed me, I've got some pretty deep footprints to fill up. So, I've got to be able to go even that much farther for my own children.
I love it.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, I have to ask about profile optimization on LinkedIn. So give me a couple tips, couple hacks, if you will, about how to create an optimized profile on LinkedIn?
You know, man, there's a couple of different ways. Some of the biggest things that you want to do is you want to look at your picture. That's the first thing people see. Make sure it's a good picture. Don't know your audience at the same point. If you need to be buttoned up, be buttoned up. If you don't be that guy that you're trying to be able to teach mindset and I'm wearing a suit and tie. They're going to be like, yeah, this guy seems a little tight for me. It's
right.
One of those pieces. Still kicking the man bun while people are going, that's out of style. I'm not trying to, please anyone else other than myself.
Right.
But it's the same thing. I mean, and add multimedia into your profile. I mean, there's a couple of different things. And when you have your description, put a picture, put a video, you can actually add that in your description now.
A link, or you can embed it?
You can embed it.
Really?
Yeah. So you want to be able to do those things. Other pieces is if there's specific sites or places you want people to go based on your past experiences, every time you put your company, like I would put Standard Authority, next to it I put http standardauthority.com. Because again, you can put a link within the title. These little things like this allow people a faster way to be able to get it. Because again, LinkedIn's great, but it is a tool. It is a tool to get them to go somewhere else. I can't add pixels for all my other targeting on my LinkedIn profile.
Right.
I can't target people that way. I've got to be able to figure out how as quickly as possible, get them to a site that I want, that I can be able to use to market them.
Right.
And the fastest way to be able to do that is to drive them somewhere else, but use that, leverage it, and be able to take people. So, I mean, your profile needs to be optimized specifically for that. How to be able to get their interest in a search and then get them to where you want them to go.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges is people have a hard time really assessing themselves and their target audience. So it's one thing for a marketer to be like, okay, I know who the target audience is. I know what my product is, and I can link the two together. But when it comes to you, people start to get bashful. Like they start to get, they either get bashful or they try to overdo it. And it's like, you see the two extremes and neither really works.
Well, Michael, how about I do this, man? I'm going to send it over to you. I've got a one sheet that kind of goes to the basic stuff of getting your LinkedIn profile. What I'll do is, anyone that wants to email me directly and say, hey, I heard you on Michael's show. I want that one sheet. I'll send it to them.
Awesome.
So either I can give them the email now, or you can type it in, whatever you want to do, however you want to play it. I don't want to,
No, yeah, absolutely. So what's your email again?
I mean, again, I'm going to give it, I'm going to give you the real easy, Joshua at Joshua, Joshua, B as in boy, Lee, LEE.com.
Excellent. And if I could go ahead and get a copy of that.
And say, link, I heard you on Michael's show. I really want to get that LinkedIn profile one sheet. I'll send it.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate that. And I would like a copy as well, please.
It will be coming over to it. But yeah, it's a one sheet that, I mean, this is, from the inner workings of LinkedIn and what they use to be able to really look into how profiles are set in their algorithm. I mean, that's how we figured out the LinkedIn being able to boost the things. We figured out LinkedIn's algorithm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so this sheet is built around that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Josh, it has been truly a pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Your hacks have been incredible. And I have much respect for you as a family man and as an authentic fucking human being as well.
There we go, bro. Thank you so much.
You got it, brother. Have a great one. Peace.